Welcome to Cartoonist by Night. I am Anthony Laatsch. I am joined here with D. Gibson, Troy Dongarra, Matt Hansel, and our very special guest, an artist who draws larger than life, Beth Zwolski Tobias, aka the Chalk Girl. Hi, Beth.
Hi.
Yay.
Hello. Welcome to the
Oh,
show.
thanks.
When we invite a guest on, we have them choose a topic. What is that topic this evening?
Fantasy.
There
Woo.
we go.
All
So
right.
that's going to be fun. We haven't touched this subject yet, so it's going to be fun to dive into it, as well as learning all about Beth, aka the Chalk Girl, as we go on with another episode of Cartoonist by Night. But before we do that, we're going to figure out what we're going to be working on. And D. Brad, any idea
Yeah.
what you're drawing?
Yeah, I'm making a card right now, and then I'll draw some dragons.
Oh, okay, like a greeting card, a birthday card coming up or something.
Valentine's Day is coming up tomorrow.
There we go. You just gave it away that we're recording before Valentine's Day. Um, All right, let's jump over to Matt Hansel. When fantasy popped up as the subject, what? Oh, actually, I know you're starting with a blank page tonight. Is that right?
Yes. I have a blank 7 by 10 piece of Bristol board here, and I am going to be doing Marty and Spud versus a dragon.
Ooh.
Perfect. Your character's Marty and Spud, so yeah, that should be
Yep.
awesome. And I had to think about what I was going to do, and I had one idea that popped in my head because very recently a local theater of mine had a special celebration screening of a movie because of the director of Rob Reiner. So I am going to be drawing
Oh,
sketch cards for The Princess Bride.
Oh,
So I've got some things that are inked out here. I got some of the recognizable characters, and hopefully they're recognizable. So I'm going through those. I got them all inked out, and I'll be working on some colors this evening for The Princess Bride.
nice.
And let's jump over to Troy. Any idea what you are drawing tonight?
Well, I'm going to ink a commission that I just now doodled up. It's sort of fantasy adjacent.
There we
It's
go.
Godzilla, who's sort of a dragon.
there you go.
And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to do some just no pencil, just grab a pen and doodle fantasy stuff.
All right, jumping over to Beth. Any idea what you're going to be working on this evening?
Yes, so I've been working on getting my sketch cover inventory up. And so we've got a grim fairy tale sketch cover, and we've got a Merlin-esque wizard happening on the front. So we're gonna spend some time working, probably just adding a lot of detail to that tonight. So yeah.
All
Very
right.
cool. So yeah, we're gonna dive into the topic of fantasy. We're gonna dive into our drawings. Feel free to start if you haven't already, and we're gonna see some examples of Beth's work that I have in a slideshow for later, and some of that being some sketch covers, and then learn all about Beth as well. But we always want to start the show off with talking about our topic and asking. So when Beth had a couple ideas, and we kind of summed all that up under fantasy. So, what do you like about fantasy?
I think it's just always been a constant love for me. Like I am definitely the generation that got Harry Potter at the appropriate or the perfect age.
Oh, you got to grow up every
Um,
year with it like that? Yeah.
literally, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
he was the same age that I was like as
Oh,
the books were
perfect.
coming out. It
Yeah.
was so great. I'm also going to switch my camera around.
Yes, please.
And so I like things that glow, things that any kind of just like I don't even know. It's just always been a constant. And with the current resurgence of books on TikTok, and like there's a whole bunch of fantasy novels and things that are being released. I kind of got back into it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't know, there's something about magic. I could never really get into like sci-fi, but if there was a fantasy element to it, I was
Yeah.
always into it.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. And are there a couple things that come to mind when you mentioned a couple already, but How about a source for the what you like fantasy, whether it be movies or books, graphic novels? Is there a certain one that you lean towards the most?
Sure. I definitely grew up, I think mostly movies. Like I was so absorbed with the Harry Potter movies. I loved The Illusionist when that came out. Um,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think of other stuff. I just anything that like was ordinary life turned magical, I guess. I never really got into the Lord of the Rings or anything, but I'm currently so obsessed with the Fourth Wing series, if anyone's familiar with that. It's an amazing dragon-based war college story. And I at the moment, I guess to answer your question, at the moment, it's books. It's the
Yeah.
current TikTok favorites.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with the TikTok book favorites. What is that, like a trending topic on TikTok? Is that
Yeah,
what you
so
mean?
for the last year or so, TikTok has kind of created this community of indie authors that a lot of them are heavily into romantic storylines, but a lot of them also have a fantasy element to them.
I gotcha.
And
Okay.
I mean, pretty much any recommendations you find on the app, you kind of can find other people that are into that book as well, and it just becomes this community called Book Talk.
Book talk.
But
I've
so
heard that term. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I learned about Fourth Wing. And there's a series called A Court of Thorns and Roses. And
Yeah,
there's a
okay.
whole bunch of stuff out there. Yeah.
I think I'll have to ask my wife. She's reading some kind of fantasy series, and that sounds familiar, what you said.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
So Court of Thorns and Roses was like I guess a deep discount book at one of the stores near me.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
yeah?
so I got that the first one, and I don't want to give spoilers or anything, but like the ending is like no, no. So
and that
There's
could
got
be
to
so
be
I,
more.
well,
could be many things.
there is more. So the way
Is
they
more.
did the ending was so that there could be more. And I was like, no, but that takes away the part of it that was good,
Oh,
which, doesn't tell anybody anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm
right.
not sure why I said like spoiler alert, but
Yeah, thanks a lot, Troy.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna have-
glad that there's someone else who's read it.
well, like when my daughter found out that I had read it, she was like, "Dad, that's a dirty book." I mean, it doesn't have anything that you wouldn't see like in a love story movie.
Correct.
And I'm glad that you mentioned Lord of the Rings about not being, really into it. Like I've always had that too, where I appreciate the fandom and all that stuff, but it was something that I could just never really get into. And I've always wanted to try, and I would have people, friends of mine that would say, maybe you'd like The Hobbit just because it has more like music and stuff like that. And I'm into, whether it's musicals and stuff like that. But Lord of the Rings is one of those that I was wondering if that was going to be mentioned here tonight. But I too have never really gotten into it. Any other Lord of the Rings fans out there?
Well, I like the movies, but um and
I
one of the very first movies I I went to a double feature when I was a kid because on some Saturdays they'd have double features, and there was a double feature of the movie with the rabbits fighting each other. What's that one?
Watership Down.
Watership Down, and then it was Ralph Bakshis. Is that how you say his name? Bakshi.
Bakshi.
Ralph Bashki.
Bakshi. Bakshi.
Ralph,
Okay. And I was his Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I'd never seen an animated movie like that before. Before that was just like G-rated Disney movies. So I was like, wow, this is crazy.
he and I share a birthday, Ralph Bakshi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to both of you then.
Well, it's not now.
Yeah. In case I forget.
Thank you.
Future Anthony will clip that out and I'll insert it into the appropriate time of the year.
But my first fantasy series is probably Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
It,
yeah.
it was a big event when it came on TV when I was a kid. It would come on once a year.
Yeah, it was same for me.
Yeah. And then I really got into the books after that and found them like really fun and funny. And and uh and the other fantasy book I series I read that was kind of popular when I was in junior high was about this guy who had leprosy and he goes into this world and he doesn't have it and he just does terrible things at first. And so he's not very heroic, but
Okay.
he's the main character. But you do like the other characters for sure. It's called Thomas Covenant.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was I don't think it's around anymore. I haven't reread it, so I don't know if it stands up. And
I tried to read the first Lord of the Rings book after the first movie came out because I didn't want to wait a
yeah,
year to see the next movie.
yeah.
And I think I got maybe 25% finished with the story, and there was a swamp creature of some sort.
I'm
Yeah.
listening.
And I swear Tolkien spent 3 pages describing the swamp creature. And I was like, I'm done.
This that's
I'll wait a year for the next movie to come out.
that's interesting because I think you just sold me on it because I love me some swamp creatures and 3 pages of just description. I don't know.
There you go.
I think I found my
Yeah.
way in.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Well, see you later, everybody. I'm gonna go check that out now.
All right.
It was fun.
All right. Make somebody co-host.
And I got a puppet around here somewhere that can jump in. Yeah, when going through thinking about some fantasy favorites, I had to make a list so I didn't forget. When it comes to comics, um, Bone popped up, Jeff Smith's Bone.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
heck
How could
yeah.
I forget that? Yeah. I
Yeah,
love them.
and that's one of those things too that it's obviously full on fantasy, but I guess it
Yeah.
just genre wise, I don't think it just really stuck out until I kind of really looked through my collection. So, Bone, I Kill Giants,
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Rat Queens, which was a more more recent one, and by recent it's probably like 15 years old right now. Gru the Wanderer, which
Yes.
we are teasing an episode that we have on Sergio Aragonis that we have in the can to drop in the YouTube feed. And then specifically Gail Simone's Red Sonja.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
had never read
Good.
Red Sonja before, but I had always liked Gail Simone. And then when I saw her, you know, get her hands on the character and everything, then that's when I started to dive in on that. So
It's like a total reboot. Like it's a different character even, isn't it? She did like a total reboot of the character.
yeah,
Or-
I haven't read much of anything else. So I don't even know. For as all I know, that is the character. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Um, and then movies. Now, some people who know me may think that I would be drawing Dark Crystal and Labyrinth characters this evening. So that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to throw a curveball with the Princess Bride because otherwise it'd be too predictable with the Henson related stuff.
Right.
But now Shape of Water was listed under fantasy. I guess like a romance fantasy. I suppose there's some science fiction and stuff in there. Princess Bride, and then of course the music video for Mariah Carey's Fantasy. That's also one of my favorite things in the
Oh
fantasy.
yeah.
So, yep.
Can you
So
sing it?
yeah, let's cut the future, Anthony. Let make him do that.
All right.
And we're back. That was so good. Hey, well done. Well
Wow.
done.
Yeah,
Amazing.
just like her.
And if people didn't hear it, then we got, copyright stricken on YouTube, but just
Oh yeah.
it was really great, everybody.
It
I got
was.
copyright stricken from posting the last Cartoonist by Night
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, for
Okay.
real?
Yeah, for real.
There was the what was it again?
Return of the Mac.
Oh yeah. Because that's weird whenever I put the songs into the little trailers and stuff like that, and even some that I uploaded like 2 years ago, I'll get an alert about it now, and I'm just like, I don't know, it was there. I didn't. Facebook allowed me to use it, so Okay, we're gonna check in on some drawings here. One thing that I've been doing recently is since I've been inking sketches before the show, it's been fun to color, and I can just basically go rounds that I'll start with the skin tones, and then I'll jump to another color, and I can just work on all five of them at once. So this is where I'm at so far for my Princess Bride characters. I was really happy.
Oh,
I was really happy
Definitely.
with the Andre the
Nice.
Giant one. Me being
Yeah,
a wrestling fan of that era and stuff. So
right.
this might be my first drawing of Andre the Giant. We're gonna check in on some other ones here. I'm going to spotlight here on Beth's as we take a look at yours. How's it coming along over there?
Ooh, coming out of the book too.
yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's gonna these always take a while for me, so it's gonna be a lot of back and forth until I feel good about it, and then we'll be in a better spot. But
Well,
yeah, we're just having fun right now.
we'll see some examples of your finished sketch covers later on in the show, so people will know exactly the kind of results that you bring. So it's
I
exciting to
appreciate that.
see the beginnings.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a look at the commissioned Godzilla over here. I love that expression.
The commissioned. Almost sounds like he's
Yeah,
a police officer.
he's got a one of his scales broke off of his tail, and he's
Oh.
Oh,
upset.
Oh no! Now,
I wonder if this is so. I have two dogs that are kind of racked in pain right now. I wonder if this is kind of me
you're feeling,
channeling the puppies here.
yeah,
yeah, there we
some
go.
empathy you have.
Yeah, it's an empathy commission. This is for uh, Hot Wing of Justice
Oh really?
for
Oh,
O'Brien. So I hope he doesn't mind me being sad about my dogs. You know,
Well,
while,
like
while
like I said, I
drawing
think
this.
fuels. I think that's gonna help the art, and art is pain. Is that right?
There we go.
Yeah. We are gonna check in with D Bread's drawing here.
Yeah,
Oh, part of the Valentine's card.
yeah. The cat's theme.
Lovely. Yeah, we've seen some great card work from you in the past. Whether you got a relative's birthday coming up and stuff like that. It's always cool to see those
Handy.
personalized drawings.
It kind of forces me to do it because like I have no excuse not to have it done. I could have drawn for an hour and a half,
Exactly. Yeah. Now we're holding you accountable,
and then you can see how I made it.
and we're also going to see how Matt Hansel is making the dragon here with Marty and Spud. How's that coming along?
it's good. We've got the layout in blue pencil, and then I tightened it up in graphite, and
Oh, yeah.
now we're starting to ink it.
I like that. What do you call it? Basilisk. What's the? Is that a basilisk? The lizard that has like the frills.
Yes, I think so.
Well,
I like the dragon that has that too. That's cool looking.
I
Thank you.
like I like that Spud is taking a bite out of that tail there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, perfect.
That's great. All
Why
right.
can't I
So,
notice the cool stuff?
all right. Now, what I do when we have a guest on, I go through the social media and I look for some artwork and finding things that that kind of strike me, and I try to contain it. I try to just grab like 10 images, but going through Beth's catalog of image, there was just so much that. So tonight's episode is going to be 8 hours long. Everybody,
Oh my gosh.
no, no, but I do have a nice setup of stuff here. So what we do in the slideshow is that you don't necessarily need to comment on what's going to be popping up, but we're going to have you talk over it by kind of giving us your origin story of how you became an artist and all the inspiration. So let's take a look back into how Beth became an artist. Feel free to start telling your life story.
This is your life.
Sure. So my mom is the one responsible for putting a crayon in my hand.
Yeah.
She is very artistic, as were her, right? As were her dad and uncle. And so it's kind of a family thing. Um, And I have two very athletic older siblings. So when they were on the court or on the field, I was on the sidelines drawing. And that was just kind of a consistent thing that I had throughout my childhood, I guess. Um, Skipping forward to learning how to use chalk. So that's me at Six Flags Great America. They actually, I was bored one summer, and so I did a whole bunch of drawings on my driveway, and then not knowing anything about the art departments at Six Flags, I kind of went and auditioned for them and said like, hey, I would love to do some kind of art, whether it be in your theater or
Oh
just
yeah.
whatever I can do. And they said, well, we don't really have that kind of space, but could you take these drawings? And they pointed to my chalk stuff and they said, could you do that with Bugs Bunny? And I said, absolutely. As long as I have a picture, I can draw pretty much anything. And so they made it an activity for kids to, I would draw the outline and then kids would come and fill in the outline. It's kind of like a color by number activity, but that didn't last very long. Folks were graffitiing all over the place and it was just not desirable. So it turned into just me drawing the Hanna-Barbera characters and the Warner Brother Looney Tunes, and then the comic book accurate Justice League for about 5 years. I would do one drawing a day. They would wash it down at the end of the day, and I do a new one the next day. So I kind of honed sidewalk chalk that way. And
Wow.
then
Did you get incredibly frustrated having the artwork disappear like a whole day's worth of work?
No, I went into the job knowing that that was going to happen. Like they told me from the very beginning, we're making this job for you, but also you have to do something every day. And there's not really an area of the park that doesn't, get puddles or anything. There's also a park sweep at the end of the night. And so there will be people coming around and like washing down the park. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But it was just a really nice way for me to be forced to learn a medium that I wasn't incredibly familiar with. But it was definitely a fun time, and it definitely like started this whole thing. That was from 2010 to 2014, and then in 2016, on a complete whim, I signed up for a Comic-Con, and it was one of the Heroes and Villains cons, if anyone remembers those.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. I had no idea what I was doing. My husband and I just took actually, scratch that, rewind a little bit. I was emailing the organizers and I said, I was trying to get like a free spot essentially. And I was like, I can be entertainment for people standing in lines or whatever. And they said, well, we don't have that, but someone did just drop out and you could get a corner booth for $100, which a 10 by 10 for $100 is no longer a thing anywhere.
Especially at a convention, my goodness.
Right. And so they said you could do that, and they wanted to know what I did. So I explained to them what I did. And they said, well, what do you like sidewalk chalk? How are you going to get rid of it when you're done? And I said, oh, it's portable. Like I just pick it up and take it with me when I go. They're like, oh, awesome. Sweet. Here's your spot. And I turned to my husband and I said, we have to figure out a way to make chalk portable. And so we spent a couple weekends deciding that I would draw on canvas, like you see in that picture there. So that whole, like that darker area on the floor that's taped down is just a very large piece of canvas that I painted over with black paint. So that happened. And at that very first convention, I was drawing Stephen Amell as the arrow because he was there. And we thought, like, how cool would it be if, we could show him this and even get a photo or something like this. And
there he is.
And there he is.
Yeah. And so he got this photo and he actually ended up putting it on his Instagram, which took my follower count. Like he tagged me in the photo, and so my follower count at the time, this was so big for me. It went from like 75 followers to 1,500 overnight. Like it was just
Nice.
that
Wow.
at that time that was a viral amount.
Oh totally.
And so yeah, and so the next day at that con, I drew Grant Gustin as Flash, and although we didn't get to meet him, we got to meet a couple other people from the show. And afterwards, my husband and I kind of just looked at each other. We were sitting on the couch and we're like, people really enjoyed this. They were asking all sorts of questions. Like, we didn't even know how we were going to get these things home. We had nothing to sell, but people, like, it was received really well by the guests of the con. And so we were like, well, let's try to make this a career for you.
Yeah.
And 10 years later, I actually will be celebrating 10 years in April. 10 years later, and I've got this portfolio and I'm doing sketch covers and I've got a couple variants under my belt. So that's the short story. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, the artwork is lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I had a lot of stuff queued up here, and then once you said Steven, I'm like, oh, I have that.
Yeah.
I'll go find it quick. So this feels like we planned this and we're running off a script, but no, it's just that I kind of figured, because part of that one of my questions was going to be your interactions with celebrities, which I do have a couple examples, so those ones we can comment on. This one here, if you've ever been to a convention and you ever have the chance, you should always go meet Michael Rooker. So this is fantastic. I know the energy that Michael Rooker brings, but can you kind of talk about like how this started happening? When you started, is this something that you reach out to them, they catch whiff of it? Kind of talk us through how these celeb meet and greets happen.
Sure. So my husband is the best amateur agent in the world. And he, while I'm drawing at the cons, he will go up and he will say hi to either the celebrity themselves or the handler and just say, hey, this is what my wife does. This is her way of saying thank you. And we would really love it if we could just, show you in person, because it's a lot cooler in person. And I don't think anyone has ever said no.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's really nice. So we have been able to meet a whole bunch of the characters that I've drawn during the day, and a lot of them will actually this gentleman from Black Lightning, Cress Williams, he took this one. We sent this one to him, and I guess it was in the writer's room for the Black Lightning show for a while.
Oh, wow.
But so like we essentially, again, it's just, this is the best and most me way I know how to say thank you for putting a really cool fandom into the world. And so I offer it to them as a gift if they want it. More often than not, it's just too big, or it's too, like chalk is not meant to be archived. And so we have to do this whole explanation of, like, we offered Emily hers and she's like, well, my mom might want it, but like, who would really want an 8-foot picture of your face? So it all just depends. Some of the people have gotten theirs, and some of them we've sent out as gifts, or we've raffled them off or something. But it's more of just a thank you, a really big, deep thank you to the artists and the actors and everyone involved. And so my husband kind of emphasizes that. And like I said, they rarely say no. And we get to go meet them and just say thank you in person. And it's really incredible. It's kind of unbelievable sometimes.
Yeah. How does it transport? Like, if someone takes it, how do they take it?
So we offer to ship it to them, and it just gets rolled up in PVC or around a PVC pipe, but within painter's plastic. So you just kind of, I don't know, protect it. It covers at least one side. So as long as you're rolling it one side, like the chalk is always protected, and they unroll really nicely. Within the last couple of years, we have figured out a sealant that works on them. So we will be doing more of that soon. But yeah, it's just kind of an incredible way to fall into the space of these cons.
And so earlier, Troy had mentioned the commission is for Brian Lynch from Hot Wing and Justice, a friend of ours, frequent past guest here on the show. He was also at Warrior Con with a lot of us here as well. He had a great question that is going to queue up something that I had planned to show off here. And I'm going to just assume the answer if the answer has changed, but I think I might know the answer. So, Brian from Hot Wing of Justice, he goes, what has been your favorite thing to create? And let's see if I have the right photo here. Is this at least one of them?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Good. You did your homework. Great job.
That's right. So the Mighty Nine, can you kind of talk us through
that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So my ride or die fandom at the moment is Critical Role. And if you haven't heard of Critical Role and you like D&D or storytelling or just community collaboration, you need to get on and watch Critical Role. You don't necessarily have to listen to the 4-hour episodes that are each session that they have while they're playing D&D, but they do have Legend of Vox Machina and Mighty Nine are both on Amazon Prime now.
Yes,
However,
I love them both.
they're so good. They fought very, very hard to keep the spirit of their game within the show. And I believe that like it was kind of a little bit of a toe-to-toe with Amazon to just make sure that they could preserve that feeling. But they're a live play of Dungeons and Dragons, and all of them are voice actors, and so it's very amusing. And they just create this beautiful story as they're going through. But I fell in love with the Mighty Nine. I was in kind of a really dark place. It was 2019, and I discovered the storytelling and immediately fell in love. And so being able to create that picture kind of was just a really cool milestone for me, I guess. It's 10 feet by 6 feet, and I actually got to show it to all of them in person at C2E2 this past year, and
Oh,
that
that's
was
cool.
I was on cloud 90, like forget cloud 9, like we were flying high and it was just amazing. So yeah, like I could die happy tomorrow situation.
Yeah, and Ashley Johnson is in that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of hers. Seen her in a lot of things, and I have yet to dive into that because I know she's very passionate with that kind of stuff. And Critical Role, I've got a buddy named Jim who is a big fan of that stuff too. But so I'm waiting to carve out the time, mostly because I have fandom for Ashley as well.
Nice. Yeah. If anyone's unfamiliar, I mean, she was a kid actor, a child actor on Growing Pains.
Yes,
Yeah.
Chrissy.
But then, yes. But then she was also the voice of, why am I going to forget her name? Ellie from
Oh
The
yeah,
Last of
The
Us.
Last of Us. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was in the HBO series as Ellie's mom. So she kind of got to come around and do that. But yeah,
And
she's fantastic.
and even though it's a extremely brief role, but is probably one that probably people will recognize most, is that she's also the waitress in the first Avengers movie.
She is.
She has a deleted scene where she had some more stuff, but she's kind of she's a waitress that's kind of highlighted for a little while, and then she would be used on other productions and stuff with the creator and everything. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, once I had going through the social media, I remember you posting about that and meeting all of them and everything. So I'm just like, all right, that pairs up perfectly with Brian's question. So now, when I'm out there on the convention circuit as a fan, as a customer, several years ago, I was perusing Artist Alley as one is meant to do when you go to a Comic Con. And there was one print that caught my eye, and I remember just staring at it and then hearing whether it was from Beth or her team, her family that are working the table and stuff like that. But this was my first purchase, Kaylee.
Nice.
Yep. So there's Kaylee from Firefly Serenity, played by Jewel State, who you did end up meeting as well.
It did.
Oh yeah. Did she
And
pose with the picture?
yep, I think there's a picture out there too, right?
Yeah.
It definitely on my website. I don't know
Yeah.
if she posted it, but yeah.
But yeah, that was, I remember just seeing that just because, you don't see a lot of Firefly art out there, especially some as perfect as this one.
Well, thank you.
So there's that. And then to do a little contrast, even though I think, both of them have beauty in their own ways, but here's a Beetlejuice too.
Oh yeah, nice.
And then if I position it just right, hey, I'm kind of wearing, because then when he dressed up as Adam, when he was wearing his flannel and stuff, so I'm kind of I'm kind of posing as Beetlejuice right now.
There you go.
Love
All
it.
right, so there is a couple show and tell there. And all right, so that is a quick little run through of learning about Beth and the history behind finding the chalk art and stuff. We're going to dive into that a little more later, but let's dip our toes back into the fantasy world. Beth, is there anything that's like super brand new in fantasy that you're into, unless it was already mentioned in there? But we're anything current that's going on right now?
Other than the Fourth Wing series, so the third installment of that collection came out in January last year, and then the next one will come out next year. But people are kind of like chomping at the bit for that. And Michael B. Jordan picked it up and is producing a show on Amazon Prime, I believe.
Oh,
So yeah, if you hear Fourth Wing in the next couple of years, just to let you know, I told you about it first.
yes.
No. So there's that is happening, and then the Court of Thorns and Roses thing is also in progress. There's still going to be books coming out for that, as are like a lot of other books that are on TikTok and stuff. I'm trying to think of other stuff. Like I again with the Lord of the Rings, I tried to watch Rings of Power.
Yeah,
Um,
I did too.
yeah.
But then I stopped. Stopped.
Yeah. Um, what I my friends and I are such big nerds, and I love like we play D&D every week, and so we chat about all the new stuff. And of course, you ask me now, and I'm drawing a blank. Um, I'm trying to
Sure.
think of what else. Um,
Yeah, I'll have that too, where somebody would just be like, "Hey, how was that movie you just saw?" And I'm like, "What movie? The one, well, the one you went to yesterday." I'm like, "I gotta go look at my photos and see me taking a picture of the poster to remind myself." So yeah, I know how that feels when you're just kind of on the spot.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying like other things that I've just that are on my list to draw. I mean, it's not really fantasy, but like I am really dying to draw The Last of Us. Um, I'm trying to think of what else is on my list. There's just so many. My list is probably like 3 miles long at this point,
Yeah.
so it's hard to keep track of that too. But I'm I mean the so my husband is massively into How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
And we haven't seen the live action yet.
Yeah.
But that was like this big thing this last year.
Yeah.
Um, I can't really think of anything else that's caught my attention other than the book series.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the live action of the How to Train Your Dragon, and I think it did extremely well, and I heard mostly positive
Oh.
things. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Anybody else have any current fantasy projects and series and books and whatever that you're checking out? Jump in.
Well, I don't have it here with me, but this is one of the first fantasy series um from I think it started in the 70s. It was The Warlord. It was about a pilot who crashes, I think, somewhere. It's either in the North Pole or the South Pole, which leads him to this fantasy world. And it's like sword and sorcery stuff.
Okay.
It's by Mike Grell.
All right.
And so
Okay, I'm familiar with that.
his character looks a lot like how he draws Oliver Queen. He's got the goatee and all that too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Warlord. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so I just recently got an omnibus of that. I may have told you before, and I was just surprised with how light it was.
Oh
And so
yeah.
they produced it on it's not exactly newsprint paper, but it's as light as, and it makes it look like it's printed on newsprint. It might be a
Hmm.
hybrid of papers, so it's kind of neat. Yeah. It's on paper that really suits the art.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the latest fantasy, even though it's from the 70s that I'm reading.
I need
So
some more lighting in my little studio here because I just started giving Wallace Shawn some purple hair instead of gray hair. So
Oh
uh,
yeah.
just to
oh,
show you the on-air mistakes, but I can fix that.
The
Uh,
dragons have ears.
do dragons have
You
ears?
want them to?
If you want them to,
Okay, so they don't.
So you don't want them
there's
to.
I think there's so many
I
different
think if they had
kinds.
ears, they would be like fan fanned ears with like webbing or something.
Oh yeah.
Like a webbed hand sticking out of the side of their head.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, I like that. Okay.
I
Yeah, I'll do
mean,
small ones like that.
lizards and snakes and frogs and stuff. I don't think snakes have like they sense stuff with their tongue, right? They do that whole thing. I don't know if they have ears, but that's where I would
Right.
go for reference.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
What do you draw Jacobson's?
Oh, one of the first dragons I got into when I was a kid, Pete's Dragon. It's a Disney.
yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to pretend that the dragon came to visit me, even though I wasn't an orphan and had wonderful parents. Like,
And a wonderful mother-in-law, Beverly, one of our biggest fans. Shout out to Beverly.
oh yeah, Beverly.
Yep, yep. Um, on the topic of dragons and so my go-to kids dragon program, there's two of them. One of them only lasted, I think, 2 or 3 episodes on TV. Has anyone heard of Scorch the
Nope.
No,
dragon? Yeah,
no.
I
Heard
think
of it.
just me and my brothers know who this character was, but you can
Yeah.
Google it and find a picture of him to know that we're not making it up. But it's one of
Uh,
those things that lasted just like a very few episodes, but it
right.
was like a puppet dragon character. But the
Oh,
more popular one, Eureka's Castle on Nickelodeon. Anyone?
I,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see it. It's on Prime. Yeah. In Canada, we had a dragon show for kids, and it was like one of those big puppets that you person would be inside of.
Like a full
Ooh.
Uh,
mascot.
yeah, it's called Dudley the Dragon.
Dudley.
Oh.
Yeah.
Future Anthony will have to put a image up of Dudley. So we're all looking at Dudley right now in the future. Oh yeah,
Dudley.
there he is. There's Dudley.
Oh yeah, that's Dudley. Look
Oh
at him.
yeah.
Hey, he looks like a Dudley.
It
He
does.
does.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do-gooder. Dudley do-gooder.
Oh yeah, that's a Dudley, the Mountie.
Yeah.
Totally do right.
Anybody else have any current fantasy story obsessions?
Or current fantasies.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to word that because
That's what it almost sounded like.
tell us your fantasy.
Well,
As other people think,
could be anything. Like
yeah,
a dream come true.
I've mentioned it before, but I'll include it with this episode with the Dark Crystal. Um, Revisiting that due to the anniversary. It was in theaters again in 2025. So checking that out in theaters. It was something that I never grew up with, even though a big, Muppet Sesame Henson kid, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't find myself. I've watched that in Labyrinth, but I don't think I truly appreciated it until now as
Right.
an adult and going back and just appreciating the artistry, the mastery, and all that kind of stuff that I've just been deep diving on all that and picking up all the comic collections and stuff like that. So while normally I'm not usually checking out a lot of fantasy projects, and I would lean more towards sci-fi, but just very recently I've been kind of spreading my wings and trying
Oh,
that out.
another fantasy series from DC. This one was in the 80s though. Was Amethyst.
Oh right, yeah.
And it was drawn by Ernie Colan, who did
Ornery Cone. Yep.
lots of Richie Rich
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
I love his art.
And later on did a extensive run on Wonder Woman, I think.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's the one where they're like gem people,
Yeah.
kind of like a precursor to Steven Universe.
Yeah. Yeah. We are the Crystal Gems. That's a fun show. I've been watching it recently.
I'm glad we got a clean cut of that because that's going to be in the credits. That little kid.
All right.
They're not gonna what did you call it before? Like copyright infringement?
Well,
Notice you for that?
I think he's good when it's like, under like 15 seconds or something. So
That's
I
right.
think it's less than 5 is the cutoff.
that one
So
is
you're good.
Yeah.
perfect.
All these guys that on YouTube who talk about the history of rock and roll, they keep getting their shows tagged. And they follow the rules too, though. And it seems weird because like you're popularizing the music.
Yeah. And I
They
know
could get,
on one of Kevin Smith's podcasts, they would literally show a trailer of his own movie and they would get stricken and like taken off of YouTube. So like and he's like, this is my movie. He's like, why can't I show? So I don't know how all that stuff works, but
That's
sure,
funny.
that's all right. Okay,
Pretty happy with this Godzilla. I hope he is too.
we're gonna
He
take
did he didn't want suffering Godzilla, but he got suffering Godzilla.
yeah, throw in a Godzuki.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Is it clear what's happened here?
Yeah, and especially with the energy lines there at the tail,
Oh yeah.
you can see it.
Yeah, there's something missing from his tail and it's in his hand. Scale.
Cool.
Uh,
Done.
I like it. Yeah, I'm just going through the rounds of browns here and just grabbing all the hair and mustaches possible and just working on all cards at once. But this is where we're at so far.
Nice.
It,
Perfect. You can.
I like the exaggerated chin.
yeah, that's what I've been trying to, work more on some of the. I think I have my Doctor Horrible cards here nearby that I worked on the last show. Speaking of exaggerated chins, so here's the Captain Hammer, Nathan Fillion.
Oh, perfect. That does look like him.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
you got their likeness even with like the little simple
Yeah.
line.
Oh
and then,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
to bring it back to our topic, so we have Felicia Day, who's part of Doctor Horrible Sing Along blog, and Felicia Day, big fan of like World of Warcraft and all that stuff, and she
Yeah.
created the Guild, which is the shirt that I am wearing for tonight's episode to
Oh yeah, I used to watch that.
kind of represent that. So I know they're working on I don't know if it's just like an in-person musical thing, but I know she has plans to do some sort of like reunion movie or something for the Guild. For those that don't know, Felicia Day, actor and creator, writer, and she created the Guild. It was basically she had this obsession with World of Warcraft, in which she would play for every hour of the day to the point where her friends literally had an intervention and had to say like, you have to stop playing this game. And one of the reasons, or one of the ways for her to kind of quit cold turkey, was to take that energy and put it into a script writing and develop a show basically about playing World of Warcraft and being addicted. And she would pitch it around to studios, and nobody wanted it, or they wanted to cast somebody else. And she's like, well, this is me. This is, I'm an actor and I would play that. And then after so many like rejections and no's and all that kind of stuff, then she just said, well, I'm just going to do it myself. And, funded and crowdfunded and like put up a PayPal button on a website, and very early stages of like web series on
Yeah.
YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and was really like a pioneer of that kind of thing that is now very common. And
Neat.
and yeah, that was the Guild, and then that just became a huge project that went like 6 or 7 seasons. I know the DVDs are out there somewhere, and I don't know if it's streamable
Yeah.
anywhere.
But the episodes are so short that one season's like an hour.
Yeah, you can, especially in the early ones, but then you can start
Yeah.
seeing. I think it was season 2. Microsoft approached Felicia and said, "Hey, we like what you're doing. We want to give you all this money to help make season 2." And I think she was worried about just like creative control and executives coming in. She's like, "No, you just keep doing what we're doing. We're just going to pay for it." And better. And then you started seeing better cameras and like longer
Right.
episodes and stuff. But so yeah, when it comes to that, even though I've never got into D&D and World of Warcraft and stuff like that, the guild was my way to experience some of that. Beth, you had mentioned D&D. Can you talk about that? You said you have weekly D&D meetups.
Yeah, and actually, before I get into that, Felicia Day is the reason that Critical Role is online.
Oh,
So,
really? Wow.
yeah, so it was like that's so perfect that you started chatting about her.
Awesome.
She was the one that approached Ashley Johnson at like a party or something and heard that Ashley was part of this in-home game, which was how Critical Role started. And she was like, would you guys be willing to put it on the internet? And Felicia Day had a channel on Twitch called Geek and Sundry.
Yeah.
And so that was the very like initial thing was Felicia Day saying, hey, put all your stuff online. So what a cool tie-in.
And that was
But yes,
yes.
that was not planned. Yes, so I do have we are pretty consistent. The other 3 members of my group do work at a theme park. They work at Six Flags. And so schedules are not always consistent. But we're pretty good about meeting up weekly as long as everyone's schedule works. This is our 4th campaign that we are partaking in as a group, and it's sincerely something special. Like I talk about Critical Role, finding it in a dark time, but like playing D&D has literally changed my life in a whole bunch of ways. And so like just having this group of people that I consistently get to meet up with and being able to collaboratively tell a story, we find ourselves in giggles every single week. So again, if you haven't gotten into it, I highly recommend joining that community.
Yeah.
How do you get into how do you find D&D people? Did you already know them?
Yeah, so I actually, it's a little sad. There was a group already forming when I was at Six Flags, and I said, hey, can I be a part? And I got told no.
Oh no.
And so I just looked at these other people that I always admired, and I didn't necessarily know them well, but I kind of said, hey, would you guys be interested in doing a D&D campaign? I've never played. I've always thought it was really cool. And one of the folks that I asked was absolutely into it. And he's like, I've DM'd a couple. I've been dungeon master a couple times. And so that's usually one of the hardest things to find. But my group exclusively consisted of people from my workplace, which if you have that kind of creative atmosphere, it's not too hard to find those people. But if you happen to not have that kind of group already established, there are Facebook groups that will often have plenty of people that say, hey, I'm looking for a group, or I've got this one shot that I really want to play. Would anybody be interested? There's networks out there that you can definitely find people. And with that, it'll probably end up being an online virtual gameplay, which is very different than an in-person one.
Mhm.
But you still get that experience of creating this story and going on an adventure with your group and making characters and just kind of getting to live vicariously through your character, which I mean, I don't know how much of the audience here does like video games, but I always describe it to people who know nothing about it as like video games minus the electronics. Like it's so collaborative, it's so fun, it's so freeing, and it's a really good time.
It's cool to see something that had started decades ago and has always existed, but also getting more current popularity, whether it be Stranger Things or Big Bang Theory, and but normalizing it more, kind of making it, when you have people like trying to think of the actors right now. And there's some big actors that are into D&D, whether it be
Yeah.
like Vin Diesel or
Vin Diesel, yep. Joe
yeah, Manganiello.
Manganiello, yes. There's a whole lot of them that are really into it, and they have definitely put a spin on it and made it a little more cool than you would
Sure, yeah,
think about back in the 80s or something. Um, and I think there's also a stigma that has been erased. I did not get to experience satanic panic, but from what I understand,
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, I
parents
did.
were
Yep.
not
I
okay with
did.
it.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. It was a real thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Smurfs were considered satanic too.
oh no,
Yes,
Yeah.
they were. Star Wars was satanic.
But
Oh my gosh. I've definitely worn Critical Role stuff around at conventions or at other places, and I do get asked, I was like, isn't that kind of, like demonic and weird? And I was like, not really. Like, you're thinking about it in the wrong way. So I think this stigma, because I had cousins that played it when I was young, and I definitely had the same, kind of we'll just can we talk about something else, please? Like, I had that attitude about it, and then once I got into it, I was like, why did I not do this sooner? It's
yeah.
just so fun.
yeah, my daughter plays it.
Amazing.
Her
Do you know
kid's
what
got
kind of
friends.
character she is?
I did know, but now I forget.
That's okay. It's all good.
I played it in the 80s for a
I
little
love
while,
that.
but I don't I don't do well with long games, and
Sure.
so I probably just got too silly with it too. Maybe annoyed people and did reckless things to die.
Well, if you annoyed the people, it sounds like they
Yeah.
weren't worth playing with anyways, because
Oh,
you
oh
gotta have
no.
room for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just as they never ever said that I was annoying. I'm just assuming, but I'm pretty sure they were very, very patient people.
We're gonna take another look at some drawings. We're taking a look at this dragon here, and look at the ears that quote unquote ears he went with.
Yeah,
Cute.
that was what Troy suggested.
That looks good.
I dig it.
Yeah.
We're taking a look at some the doodles that are happening over at Troy's screen now. Who are we looking at?
Yeah. A fantasy barbarian guy, and I've already like really screwed up the anatomy, but that's what happens when you don't put down pencil lines first. So we'll see if I
Nice.
can salvage it by covering it up with a big sword.
Yeah, there's a lot of space on that paper to add some other things,
Yes. Here
and
comes the sword.
and here we go on Matt Hansel coloring the dragon over here. And do you have ears on your dragon? What do we have there? No.
Uh, I don't know if they're ears or not, but he has like a head blowing thing or something. I don't know what to call it.
Here, how about a mane? Can we call it a mane?
A mane. There we go.
All right. I had to say that because that cues up something that I wanted to talk about with Beth here. So we may have the mane over there for the dragon mane, but um, Beth has a connection with somebody here, which I have a photo, so stay tuned.
What?
As soon as you said that, I was like, what a segue.
Yep. I wasn't ready for it, but in the background I am, so let me just buy some
Is
time.
it,
Future Anthony
is
might
it-
make it a little more
okay, I can't
seamless,
wait.
but
That's okay. It's great.
this might be more.
I'll have to tell him about it.
Okay, so here is the perfect transition to Tyler Main, actor,
Oh,
retired pro
interesting.
wrestler, and can you talk about this awesome collaboration?
Yes.
Collaboration.
And I
Yes.
will try to keep it as light as possible. But so Tyler Main and his wife Renee created a graphic novel called The Last Spartan, and they had a Kickstarter going, and a patron of mine backed it quite immensely. He put a lot of money towards it, and part of the reward was that you got to create a variant cover and choose your own artist. And so he asked me to do it. And this was the chalk drawing that eventually became the comic book, which I have next to me.
Ooh.
The graphic novel. Da, 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 da. Oh, well, here, I could do this. Da, 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 da.
That worked.
So that drawing became this cover, and this whole series, they actually want to expand upon it even more. Is the best way to describe it is the movie Taken plus Punisher plus Sons of Anarchy. So it's a gentleman who was in the military, ex-military, was in a biker gang, ex-member of this biker gang, needs to find a girl who has been human trafficked. And so this whole series is about getting her back, and then he teams up with an agent who is just fed up with the system and all of the red tape that you have to cut through to get anything done. So it's quite an amazing story for the first 3 episodes that are part of this, or yeah, first 3 issues, I should say, that are part of this graphic novel. And it's a bit timely as well, unfortunately, but a chunk of the proceeds go to the Deliver Fund, which is a non-for-profit community group that teaches law enforcement and equips them with better tools and better digital tools specifically. So like how to find these trafficking rings and stuff like that. So there's a lot to this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking at that, and I didn't know the origin story of how. I knew that you did this, and I remember seeing the announcement when it came through, and I'm just like, oh, there's Tyler Main. People may recognize that from, the Halloween movies and the X-Men movies, the Sabretooth, and yeah, retired pro wrestler and stuff. But yeah, I didn't know how that's to have the patron come through and choose an artist and everything. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
I did not know the name of that guy, the actor that played Sabretooth in like the original X-Men movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And he was brought back for the Deadpool versus Wolverine movie.
Yep.
I do know that he was I don't know if it's pronounced Ajax or Ajax in the movie Troy with Brad Pitt. Here's like this big Spartan guy, and then just his other 2 big roles are the original Wolverine and Michael Myers for the Rob Zombie movies. So,
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to look it up.
He's also a great guy.
I saw some of the videos and stuff of the signing that you had for the exclusive cover and stuff like that, and it just looked like a lot of fun. So,
very much so.
And he's Canadian too.
He is. He's from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just going through some of the IMDb stuff, like the Jupiter's Legacy series. That's cool. Oh, Doom Patrol. Nice.
Oh, that's a good show. I like that.
That it is. Cool. All right. Good. So I got that checked off the list here. All right, we're going to get back to checking out drawings. We're going to spotlight Beth's progress. How's it coming along? What do you think about your drawing right now?
It's getting there. I'm definitely improvising a lot of this, which is not something I typically do, and so I'm pleased with the improvisation at the moment. We'll see how long that lasts.
And this will be a good time to ask you about, we're seeing the process for the sketch covers, but when it comes to your chalk work, if we want to concentrate on that, when these life-size murals, and is there a good estimate, if you want to kind of talk us through how long projects usually take, if there's just kind of walk us through the the time and the effort that goes into the large pieces of work?
Sure. So when I first started at Six Flags, I obviously had to get one done in a day, which was at that time about 6 or 7 hours. And so when we first transitioned to doing it as a company, I thought, how cool would it be if people could come to the con and see the beginning and see the end in the same day? That lasted a couple years, and then I started just burning out really quickly. And now we take our time, and an average chalk drawing is about 80 hours. The sketch covers, it depends on how much detail we put into them. So you showed the Scarlet Witch one that I had up the other day, which actually I have right next to me as well. So this one I did in about a day. And that was like from researching images all the way to compiling my reference and then finally finishing it. So that I actually surprised myself with this one.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that was actually pretty quick.
That's very convincing of just being like, oh, that's the photocopied print that they released or something. Like that's how like just flawless it looks.
Well, thank you. I have other ones that took me, I think the Nightcrawler one that you showed earlier, that was probably in like the 40 to 50 hour range. I don't like not finishing, like I don't like them not looking polished, I guess. A lot of people have asked me to just do portraits, just do the really quick kind of sketch ink outline, and that, I guess that's just not my style. Maybe one day when my name has a little more weight to it, I'll get to that point, but not yet. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's the average time for me to complete a project is between like 40, 80 hours, 40 hours of solid drawing time for the sketch covers and probably 80 hours for the chalk drawings. This Critical Role one took me over 200 though. And then if we get into paint land, I do love acrylic paint. That goes even longer. So I have a 2 foot by 4 foot painting I did for a patron, and that ended up being over 500 hours. So it just depends.
Yeah. And on your social media, there is a lot of awesome time-lapse videos for people to check out if you want to kind of see that process. Now, we just see, whatever song is being played and this and that, but do you have a mode that you get yourself into? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to podcasts? Is there something that you find yourself that kind of drives your creativity when you're investing so much time into these projects?
You bet. I measure my projects in Critical Role episodes or in audiobook hours or in, a random show that I can just replay in the background. Yep. That is literally how I measure my time.
Anybody else out there that they have go-tos of outside of Cartoonist by Night hangouts? What's your preferred drawing background noise, if you will? Feel free to chime in.
Silence.
Silence.
Yeah, sure. Often silence for me too. But if I do play something, it has to be something that doesn't require me to concentrate. So it might be like something I've seen a lot of times before, and I can just look up. Like maybe I'll put in some Flintstones, or that could work, or Spider-Man background music from the old TV show.
Right. Right. There's like a 6-hour loop of it on YouTube you can listen to, and I've done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I've definitely tried to, when I started making comics, I tried to watch Andor season 1. Like Andor just came out at the same time that I was starting to book, and then I found myself on like episode 6 and realizing I haven't watched a single thing. I have no idea what they said. I can't.
Who that guy is?
I only know who Andor was because I saw Rogue One, and I'm just like, what is happening? And then that's when I learned that I have to, like what we were saying, is only watch or listen to things that I know everything about. And so, like an example right now with anything that I'm currently drawing, at the time of this recording, we're a couple weeks away from the return of Scrubs. So that's something that I can just listen to because I've seen so much, and I don't necessarily need to look at it to understand what's happening. So it's mostly, just mindless noise in the background. But how about you, Troy? Do you have anything that you go to?
Uh, I haven't in a while, but I used to really, and I don't remember what streaming service it's on, but there's a show called Letterkenny
Oh
that's
yeah,
just
on
got a
Hulu.
lot of really good banter,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you really don't need to watch it to get to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a Canadian show.
Yep.
I love
Yeah,
Letterkenny.
yeah,
It's
it's fun.
it's got a
It's
it's
funny.
got a spin-off, a hockey spin-off called Shoresy, which is
Yeah,
even
yeah.
that's even greater.
Oh yeah,
I've not seen the Shoresy one, but
yeah, yeah. I
If,
I
got
if
draw
you
my
like
screen.
hockey, you'll really like it.
I do like hockey.
There you
And
go.
you'll like Shorzy
Guarantee it.
and the
All
Goon.
right. Just went with the red dress here for Buttercup. Um, I don't think anyone else. Well, I can use the red tongue. Like I said, I've been basically finding a color and then just going to every single sketch card and just see, all right, let's use this color in this one and this one and this
Oh, yeah.
one.
I
It's been,
had a color accident a few moments ago.
oh no.
Uh, this all of a sudden a whole bunch of ink came shooting out,
I
and
bet you, I
it
bet you,
landed right there.
I bet you
So,
future Anthony was going to highlight that. So
oh yeah,
we
did you hear me
probably,
gasp?
we
I
probably saw it
gasped.
happen.
Yeah, and I gasped when it happened. I went,
Uh, So, Beth, with working on your sketch covers and stuff, I assume, like most artists, purchasing up a bunch of blanks and things like that. When it comes to convention prep, what do you kind of work on? Because you offer prints and now offer sketch cards. If you can talk about that, or sketch
Yeah,
covers.
yes. So I for the little I guess I call Mighty Con a little con compared to something like
Oh yeah,
C2E2 or Indiana Comic Con. Um for those guys, it's pretty much just restocking prints that I may have sold at the last convention. It's prepping any gaps in so I do special effects stretch canvas now, which are basically we get my imagery printed on stretch canvas and then they come to me and I will either add a glow in the dark effect or a UV light effect or a foil or a 3D texture of some kind. So it'll be working on those projects. I always try to have an original of some kind with me, whether that is a tiny chalk drawing that'll be in a shadow box or a sketch cover of some kind. I'm trying to think of what else. It's pretty much just like unloading all of the stuff, making sure it's all stocked up, and then putting it back in the van and going to the
yep.
next one.
Yeah, I find
Um,
myself that when doing this show here, like, so all these Princess Bride sketch cards will just be added to the binder and just waiting for that one person to come by that wants all of them.
Pretty much. I am lucky that we do have a bit of a following on social media, and so I have been able to sell some things before I even get to the show, which is always nice.
Yeah, yeah.
But more often than not, you kind of just I'm working on it the night before until 3 a.m. and then being dog tired at the convention the next day.
Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah, that is a bad habit I definitely need to break. But it's I mean, if you get the final product, you sell the final product, and then you feel good about it. So
It's all part of the process.
yeah.
so how many conventions will you go to every weekend or every one a month or?
No.
Well,
No.
Oh,
I wish I could go to more. But yeah, there we go.
look at this.
So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If I get into those other ones. And then I do have a small collection of like high school or sometimes the high schools do it for their students only, so I don't advertise those.
Hmm.
But um yeah, so about that many.
yeah. Oh, I
uh,
forgot to count.
Yeah,
it's okay.
for people with their heads down as they're working on their drawings at home, because we always encourage people to draw along. Take
Look
a
up.
look at the convention schedule as of mid-February here. To
What's used to be there? It's not there anymore. Is it like something special?
No, so it's stuff that I haven't for sure gotten into yet. So I've applied
Oh,
to a couple of
oh,
dates, and
oh,
then if I do get into them, I'll reveal those.
oh, okay.
Um,
to
yeah.
here, I thought those were going to be future Cartoonist by Night appearances, but that's not it. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
Close.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. All right, so I'm looking at the time, I'm looking at the drawings. I'm at that point where I think I'm going to kind of put a pause on there, because sometimes when I make too many decisions that I'm not really thinking about, then the drawings go south. So I think I'll work on those afterwards. We're going to take another peek at Troy's doodling page here. Look at this.
So fun.
Hmm. That's awesome.
So fun.
Yeah, I admire that, just like random, just being like, yep, I'm just diving in, because I think you excel in that, whether or not you agree to that. So I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of the drawings where you'll just keep adding stuff, or you're fixing things and adding like Kirby Crackle to cover this up or that, and it always seems to you find a way.
Well, thank you. It's
Cool.
certainly fun to do.
That's cool.
Got I didn't know if the horns on his head look like mushrooms or not, but I kind of if it does, I'm cool with it.
Yeah,
I think I'll send this to Brian as well.
there we go.
You
Brian
heard
is
that?
watching. Brian's watching this episode right now, and from the future, and I think he approves.
Oh, I
He's
just
already
remembered.
got it though.
That's
So
right.
Oh, he does, yeah. I just remembered that I have to contact him back about something. Right.
Ooh.
so I saw after he placed the order, I saw that he had a birthday. I'm like, well, shoot, I wish that I had known that. I wouldn't have allowed him to send me money. So we'll just,
Oh, so if it's your birthday, you don't have to buy it.
if you're Brian frickin' Lynch, no.
Yeah.
Brian Lynch, Hot Wing of Justice, everybody. Frequent guest here on Cartoonist by Night. I have it right in front of me, so I'll show it off. His Jokin character, he made this freaky pumpkin man, and here's a 3D print of a toy that he has in addition to all of his artwork and comics. But and there's always a joke in the pumpkin somewhere, so here he is on my drawing board too, because that's just part of Brian Lynch's way, is to make sure that pumpkin is always in frame.
It shows up.
All right, take another look at the drawing here, and as you're working on the sketch covers, Beth, can you kind of talk about your go-to tools and well, we just had an episode for drawing tools in our feed, was our last episode, so
Oh,
we can kind of
nice.
carry on with that. If there's certain go-to favorites of yours.
So I am anti-gatekeeping. I think it's silly.
Yeah,
And so I use like my main chalk stuff is just Crayola drawing chalk. You can
perfect.
get it for like 16 or $17 a box. There's 144 sticks with 24 different colors, and it's great stuff for using on just anything that has a decent tooth to it. So that's why I use canvas, but it's great for adding to the stuff on the actual sidewalk. It's great for stuff with like watercolor paper or like a heavy tooth sketch paper. but that is like my bread and butter these days. I do end up using like General's charcoal, and also there's a chalk brand called Eternity Arts based out of Michigan, and they make really nice meant for like chalk festivals chalk, big sticks that they've got a little bit of a different chemistry to them compared to the Crayola stuff. And then I also use Mount Vision pastels, but mostly I use the Crayola sidewalk chalk, or the Crayola drawing chalk. Other than that, for the sketch covers, I typically use the Copic markers and the Faber-Castell. I never really know how to pronounce these right. Are these them? Nope, these are microns. So I use the micron stuff. I use Posca paint pens a lot. You could see me using these every once in a while to black out things on here. I don't know if these are good for these covers, but it's what I've been using.
Yeah.
So.
If your work is any example of what's what the tools you're using, I think you're doing something right. So
I appreciate that. I also use Prismacolor colored pencils a lot for the sketch covers, just because I really like to get the tiny details in there, and those allow me to do that as well. Big fan of acrylic paint, like I said. Sometimes that ends up either on the end of a paintbrush or in an airbrush. I do have an airbrush system that I like to use a lot. So
I've never tried that.
oh my goodness, it's so fun. I definitely wouldn't start on something as small as a sketch cover, but like I learned how to use it because I was a special effects makeup artist at Six Flags for about 10 years. And it just became another tool in the toolbox. And sometimes you just need a little bit of glow or ambiance. So like for this one, it was the very last thing, well, not the very last thing, but it was close to the last thing that I did, getting all of this kind of just like aura around the hands. That was all airbrush. So sometimes it's really nifty. It really helps.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much everything I use.
How do you prevent smudging?
So for the chalk, you pretty much like I never have like my entire hand like I would on here. I never have my entire hand or wrist on the canvas. It's usually just my fingertips.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily something that I have to worry about consistently. Yeah, if somebody comes by and does a smear across it, it'll affect it. But chalk is such an easy medium to fix that I really never panic. Yeah, that's what my hands look like sometimes at the end of the day.
Wow.
And not just my hands. I will have it everywhere.
On your face.
Everywhere, literally. People come up to me all the time and ask, like, do you know that you have something on your face? And I was like, yes, absolutely, I know. So that is definitely
Read the sign. It says "Chalk Girl" for a reason, nerd.
I'm made out of chalk.
I don't know about anyone else that does vendor events, but all the time I get, did you do that? As I'm actively working on the picture, like literally as I'm working on the picture. And I want to say, no, I'm filling in for the leprechauns that were here last night, but I tend to just say, yep, I did that.
That's me.
Do you have adults say that to you?
All the time.
It's
Everyone.
like a kid thing to say, yeah.
Oh yeah. You should. It's funny what people will say to you at a convention. They'll go through your portfolio and say, "Did you draw all that?"
Yeah.
You know, or my favorite one is, "Oh, this is great, but what do you really do?"
I've never gotten that. But that's an interesting one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like that one at all.
I don't either.
There was one, I'm trying to think of the actual quote now, since mostly I do these small sketch cards and everything. And it's always great when children are coming up to the table and they're looking at the art and everything. And there was a kid, and then his parent was right over the shoulder, and the kid was super honest, let's say maybe 6 or 7, looking at one of the little like Spider-Man sketch cards or something. And he just goes, "This is actually really good." And just like... just seeing him so serious and everything, and it was just like, oh well, thank you, sir. And but yeah, and then I've had one too that was kind of the opposite way, but the honesty was so great that it was just that brutal honesty of just being like, oh, this one's okay. But just hearing that come from, a
Boy.
child or something, and I just had a good time with it, and I'm like, hey, send me the criticism, I'll take it.
I get a lot of I don't really do them anymore, but weird comments like that, like, did you do this? Like from little kids.
Yeah.
And I always like feign super excitement, like, yeah, I did. You do stuff too? And most of them are like, yeah, I love crayons.
Oh
But
yeah. That's
And
I've
awesome.
never had an adult do that.
Oh
I
yeah,
might be tempted
plenty.
to come up with the
Yeah.
leprechaun thing.
It sometimes it is a little bit, I mean, from an outsider point of view, I guess it can be easy to confuse it. So I'll usually have my husband and my parents in the booth with me, and they are the ones actively selling while I am actively drawing. And so if
Right.
people aren't paying attention, sometimes I don't even look like I'm part of the booth.
Oh yeah.
Um, so they'll either pass me first and then see everything and see what I'm doing and kind of connect the dots, or they will see it all first. They'll see my parents and my husband, and they'll ask, my dad or my husband, and they'll be like, "Did you draw this?" And they'll just point to the shirt and say, "I do not qualify to be the chalk girl."
yep.
Um,
and, and
so
if you're buying a print or something, then if they want a signature, then you'll see Beth, take a pause on a giant Picard drawing or something and jump over and do a quick signature and stuff. So yeah, you have a good team working with you there.
we really do. I could not do it without them. They are incredibly supportive. And I mean, if anyone ever were to ask, like, the kid that's new to this, I don't really know what your audience is like, but find your support system and find it as soon as possible, because they're gonna help you, and that's literally the only way that I could do this, is if I had them too. So
That's
big
great.
Awesome.
kudos to them. Big kudos.
Shout out to Beth's awesome husband for all of that, and parents for
Yeah.
all of that support.
Yeah.
Literally, like he lifts me up in more ways than one.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that one.
Oh yeah. Like
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah,
literally.
So looking,
literally. So I when I
Uh,
used to draw on the
oh,
ground,
there you
I would
go.
have to get a decent photo, and so he would just pick me up and I would take a photo, but it's one of my favorites.
That's great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a great guy. um you got to have a community, and mine started with my family and my husband, so
Perfect.
Very cool.
now,
yeah.
now it's possible that D. Brad asked the question, but before the show, he wanted a reminder to ask something about
Yeah.
chalk. Was it the smearing? Was that the question, or do you remember what you were going to ask, D. Brad?
No, no, no.
You don't
Uh,
remember?
no, I remember.
Oh,
Yeah, like it's about chalk and it's about a cartoon show. And I think it was produced in England and then it would be shopped around to different countries and it would have a different narrator depending on what country. So in Canada, we get stuff from Canada, we get stuff from England, we get stuff from the US. So I would watch three different versions of it.
Oh,
It
that's
was
cool.
called Simon in the Land of Chalk Drawings. And um, he was like a real kid, and the drawings were they kind of look like pencil line drawings. And then he would uh, draw, and then whatever he drew, I guess would happen, and he would hop over the fence, and then it'd be like this land of people who were chalk drawings.
okay.
And
Interesting.
yeah, and
That is
so
so cool.
Mike Myers is from Canada, and he took the theme song of it and used it for one of his characters. His name's Simon, who would sit in a bathtub.
Oh, I know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
from S.
yeah.
Yeah, I know
And
that
so
character.
the show is this could be another one. He goes, "Well, my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true." It's kind of like it's it's one that pops into my head when you talk about chalk drawings. So I was thinking at one time I was going to draw Simon of the in the land of chalk drawings. It's hard to say chalk.
It is.
and
That's super
drawing.
cute.
Yeah, it was good. You should look it up on YouTube, and you might get it narrated by some English guy. It might be narrated by Mr. Dressup, who's a guy in Canada who did a kids show, or it might be narrated by Captain Kangaroo from the States. That was a
Very cool.
old
Yeah.
TV show. Yeah.
I'm never gonna look that up.
Yeah, you don't have to, but if you wanted to.
Troy's gonna watch it when it's narrated by D. Brad Gibson.
I would watch anything narrated by that guy. He rocks.
Note to self, get a copy and dub it.
Well, we are going to bring the show to a close, and as we do, we just kind of show off our progress, and then we'll say our goodbyes and everything. So as everyone kind of gets settled, this is the progress that I made on the sketch card. Still got a lot of work to do. I was going to find some sort of. I'm going to look at the poster and see if there's some kind of main color I can use to go across all of them, so they kind of pop and collect together and on one page. And once again, hopefully find somebody that wants all of them. But this is where I'm at so far, and I'll finish these off air. Jump over to D. Brad. Let's see the card and the dragon.
Card, I haven't decided how I'm going to color them yet. So
Oh,
Super cute.
two kitties,
Adorable.
and then there's the dragon. And I'll probably keep coloring it, like to smooth
So fun.
out the greens.
And I've been keeping track of how many cats you've been drawing on Cartoonist by Night, and I think we're up to 2,000 now, 2004 maybe.
Oh my goodness.
he's got as many cats as you have Muppets.
That is true. Yeah. And some of the Muppets are cats, so yeah, it's perfect.
Wow, I'd be lucky.
Jumping over to Matt Hansel, we had Marty and Spud dragon drawing.
We've finished her up.
Perfect.
So I didn't see how you colored it. What colors? What were you using?
Prismacolor Coal Erase color pencils.
Gotcha.
So cool.
Looks good.
Diffused a little bit with some tissue paper.
Nice.
Love it.
And
Nice.
if we could
Looks
take
great.
another look at Godzilla and the doodle page, Troy, if you got them nearby, unless you already sent them to Brian.
Nope.
Okay.
There's Godzilla.
Very cool.
Nice. I like it.
And the page of doodles. I'm going to spotlight that so we can just take a little closer look. Oh, look at all that extra work you added there.
Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Too much going on to really even tell what's going on.
Hey, I think that's a lot of talented artists do that. Whether it be Sergio Aragonis has a lot. You're just giving more bang for their buck.
George Perez,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then our guest, Beth, aka the Chalk Girl. If we want to take a look at your sketch cover progress here.
Sorry, I take a long time, you guys.
It's all good. It looks great so far,
It
though.
looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
you make this chalk? No, you don't make this chalk. No, you can't do
No,
chalk there.
this
No.
correct. This will be Prismacolors and Copic markers and
right.
maybe a little bit
Did
of
that, I
acrylic
think.
paint.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that is going to do it. Beth, if people were to reach out to you on social media, if you want to give the plugs and where people can find you online.
Yeah, so if you search pretty much any social media, it'll be under just at the Chalk Girl. And then I do have a website, which is adventuresofchalkgirl.com. And I mainly communicate via Instagram and Facebook. That's pretty much it. I do have a newsletter though, should you want updates more frequently. However, I often forget to do that. So it's kind of like the opposite of spam. We try to do about once a month or so, but other than that, just social media.
Very cool.
Excellent. So all that information will be across the bottom of the screen as she was mentioning it, as well as in the show notes of the YouTube video. Thank you very much, Beth. I've been a big fan coming across your table at many of the Comic Cons in the Wisconsin and Illinois area, and it's super exciting to have you here on the show and learn all about you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
So that is going to do
Really
it for
fun.
that is going to do it for another episode of Cartoonist by Night, because the sun's starting to come up, so it's time to get back to our day jobs. See you later, everybody.
No. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, got it. Can't get the thing closed.
We are the Crystal Gems.
Okay.
I was crossing my eyes.